Welcome to my channel. I'm Cody, the Rad Retro Dad, and today is race day. We're going to play a few of my favorite arcade racing games, and I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about this racing arcade cabinet, which originally was a Rush 2049, and I basically just changed it into a racing simulator. So buckle up, and let's play some games. Alright guys, got my camera set up here so you guys can see what I'm playing, but I set it up this way so you could see my steering wheel, and you can see this, like, I got a flight stick down here, and we'll talk about that within the next game. Alright guys, we're going to play Dirt 5 first. Dirt 5 is an arcade racing game, and there's basically two different types of racing video games. There's arcade style, and then there's simulation style. And it's kind of a wide spectrum. There are some that fall kind of in the middle, somewhere between easy like an arcade racer, but challenging like a simulator. And so we're going to go over a few different arcade racers. We're going to do this first one, which I think is perfect for like somebody like me, being a dad, and I don't have a whole lot of time sometimes to just sit down and play games. This is a really good one. You can just pick it up, do a few races, do some progression in the game, and be done. So let's jump into Dirt 5, and let me show you what we got. So I'm just going to go to my tracks, and this game has a ton of different races, as you can see. But they basically take a handful of locations and make a bunch of tracks around them, which is all right. There's a lot of good variety in this game. And so I'm just going to start with one from China. I think that this racetrack is just beautiful, and it just shows the graphics in this game. So let's boot it up. I'm going to choose my vehicle. There we go. One thing I like about this game is it's got really good force feedback. So I set my camera up so you can see my wheel and everything, because I want you to see how this wheel will fight with me as I'm racing around the tracks. This game has some of the best spot-on force feedback for, at least for the wheel I have, and I have a Logitech G920. It's probably, you can't go wrong. It's got really good force feedback, and there are better equipment out there, but for the price, I don't think it can be beat. Maybe by its predecessor. There's a newer version of it that goes for a little bit more. So you'll see right off the bat, this game has just really good graphics. You got mud flying in your face. The tracks actually are muddy and slick too. So you guys are going to get to see my race skills here. So this game is a bit challenging. All these racers in the back, they're not what you play this game for. You got to get up to like 1, 2, 3, and 4th place. Those guys will give you a run for your money. So you get past all the filler cars, and now you're in the real race. And I think they do that to make you feel like you're doing good, which is fine. And you can feel every bump in the road on this game. Oh, and every time you hit the wall. So you can see my wheel kind of jogging around here. So we're gonna see how well we do. So let's talk about the wheel. The wheel is probably the most important part of a racing simulator, in my opinion. You got to get a good wheel. And this is a good wheel, but there are way better ones out there. There are basically two different kinds of force feedback wheels that really matter. And that's belt driven and direct drive. So this one is belt driven. It's not direct drive. And arguably, I would say that direct drive is better for like the actual feel of the road and actual feel of the car. But if you're just wanting to get into it, have fun, this is a good wheel, and it does just fine. So, a little bit about this game. This game has a couple cool features. It has a kind of a day-night cycle, not like literally, but time progresses as you race. So if you pick a track that's more at dusk, then your race it'll slowly get darker as you race. So let me see if I can find a track here that will demonstrate that. And the other thing is let's try this one. Is that there's a dynamic weather system as well. So you will start out and it might be clear sky, and then the clouds will roll in, and then it'll start raining, and then mid-race it'll start snowing, and then by the final lap you're racing through snow. It's really cool and pretty unique. I know other games have done it before, but I think this game does it better. And if you're interested in this game, you can get it on Steam or on Xbox or PlayStation on their stores. And if you wait for a sale, it's super cheap. It's been out for a while now, probably about 3 or 4 years. So it's not the newest game out there, but I would say it's one of the prettiest arcade racers. So let's race one more lap, or one more race here, and then I'll show you a different game. So, if you want to get into racing simulation, I think a fun way to do it is to just find an old racing arcade that may be sitting in somebody's garage or they don't want. You can do this by going to the Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or whatever's popular in your area. Sometimes you got really good local classified sections. And so just keep an eye out, and after so long you will find a cabinet that's not working, that somebody just can't get working, and it's just broken down. But what's the most important is finding one that is in good enough shape that you can fix it up and put a monitor in it and a computer. So I got this arcade cabinet. I think it was off Facebook or Craigslist. I can't remember which exact marketplace I found it on, but I found it and the guy's like, doesn't work, missing parts, $100. So I wasn't worried about it not working. I knew exactly what I wanted to do with it. The only thing I cared about is if the cabinet was in good shape. And so I went and picked it up for $100. And I fixed it up, put this monitor in it, put a custom bezel in it. Unfortunately, the original bezel was missing, which was sad. But that's alright. It still looks really cool. And what's really neat about these... Oh man, I am not doing good. These arcade racing cabinets is that the seat is adjustable. You got a lever underneath it, just like you do in your car, and you can pull that lever and adjust it, pull it forward, pull it back. This allows easy adjustments to accommodate children, kids of all ages, and they can jump in and enjoy this simulator as well without any real hassle. So that's one thing to consider. Now, if you want to if you don't have a whole lot of space in your house, you don't want to have a big, giant, clunky arcade cabinet sitting around your house, there are other options. And I'm going to link all this information. I'm going to put this in the description and give you a bunch of links in the description. So just look down there and you'll have everything. Ha! First place. So that was Dirt 5. We're going to go... I think that was enough of this game. We're going to take a look at a different game. Okay, so here we are with Cruis'n Blast. We got this on the Nintendo Switch, so unfortunately there's no there's no force feedback with this game, but the wheel has a option to make it stiff so it bounces back to center, which is nice for games that don't have force feedback. But this game, we got it at Walmart for like $20, and it is one of the only racing games that my kids go back to a lot. And it is just crazy. This is what an arcade racing game would look like if you went to an actual arcade and sat down at their arcade, at the arcade cabinets there. You'd get crazy, easy to pick up arcade racers. And this game, even though it's super easy, doesn't matter. This game is super fun, and it's about the feeling that it gives you. It gives you this feeling of speed, and there is a little bit of like skill to it. You got that like jump, and you can collect items. See, like I collected a key right there, and that will unlock new cars and new tracks. And the actual arcade version of this game only has a few tracks and limited on cars. So this is basically the same game, but just with more cars and more tracks. And they even include all the original actual arcade tracks on this game. So I think it's far superior to the actual arcade game. The third place. So kids love this game. They can pick it up. They see all the flashy colors. And it's in an arcade cabinet. It's all about, like I've talked about in my previous arcade videos, arcade is about presentation as it is about how fun the game is. So this is an example of a easy to pick up, fun for the kids. I put it on when they have birthday parties, and the kids just love this game. So we'll do one more race here, and then we'll move on. And I mean, I really like this game too. Even though I like more of a challenge in my racing games, this game is just super fun. And like I said, there is a little bit of skill to it, like getting up too close to somebody and you go, and you can flip over them. There's little shortcuts and stuff you can take. I would say it's kind of like Mario Kart, if you wanted to compare it to something. Except you're not shooting stuff at your opponents. You do have kind of an attack where you can like run up to them and do that and jump over them and gain the lead. And it wouldn't be called Cruis'n Blast if you couldn't blast. And there's like a drift function where you quickly tap your brake and you can do different maneuvers and it will fill your blast meter. So there are some fun things to this game. And the game kind of adapts too to your skill level. So I saved my last blast for the end to get first place. So I wanted to show you guys this. It's really just an easy, fun racing game to have in a simulator or in an arcade machine. I like to have games like this for the kids. So let's take a look at another game now. Okay, so I'm kind of a sucker for a good open world game. If you can have an open world game and a racing game put together, that's awesome. Okay, this is Forza Horizon 5. And Forza Horizon 5, it's an open world arcade racer. And it lands somewhere in the middle of being an arcade racer and a simulation racer. Earlier in the video, I talked about this flight stick I have mounted down here. And what's unique about Forza Horizon 5 is that you can map multiple controllers to different functions of the game. So I have my wheel set up the way I like, and then I've got this set up as a handbrake, and it works seamlessly. So I'm just going to do a run, and then we'll talk about it a little bit more. So this is just a dirt road run in the game that I found that I really like. It's a challenging trail. So see, I can pull that handbrake and I can flip my car around, and it's so natural to just reach down and hit that handbrake. So let's do this run. And I like using the handbrake on dirt roads because, you know, different texture. You slide around a little bit more on a dirt road. And I want you to pay attention to the wheel. This game is also, like I said, part racing simulation, and it has a lot of those aspects of it. So as you're like throwing your wheel around, you're actually like changing the weight of your car and throwing it certain different directions. So you kind of gotta pay attention to the route you're doing and the feel of the force feedback. And when you need to grab that handbrake, it's right there. It's natural, and it's really fun. You can see how it kind of like makes you drift a little bit. So let's see how good I do. See if I don't make a fool of myself here. Ooh, almost caught the rock there. The force feedback in this game is better than earlier entries of Forza Horizon. I've played Forza Horizon 3 and 4 as well, and I would say that the force feedback is a lot better in Forza Horizon 5. Not to say that it's bad in those games, I just think that they fine-tuned it better in this game. So we're going to do this run forwards and backwards here. So when you're doing a racing simulator, you kind of want to like think about things like handbrakes and gear shifts and stuff like that. Like how accidentally hit the view change button here. While I'm here, my favorite view in any racing game is the hood view. I just think from like the positioning that I'm sitting, the hood view feels more natural, like I'm sitting in the cockpit. So, but you do have other options here. You got your chase cameras, you got your inside, and you can see the steering wheel. I don't like to see my steering wheel doubled on the screen. So there is an option to just have a dash cam. But I think the hood cam, it gives you a nice wide view, and it just feels more natural to me. But it's whatever your preference is. So let's do this run one more time. See if I can do it a little bit better than last time. And backwards. You can see it backwards. But this game is really cool. It's open world. I'm a sucker for a good open world game. And you can go anywhere, and I'll show you the map here in a minute. Oh no! See, you can lose control really easy if you're not paying attention to what you're doing. So let's see if I can get back into my groove here. And then I'll show you the rest of this game. Just tapping that handbrake to just whip around those corners. The whole point is to just lose the least amount of momentum on a turn as possible. Keep that momentum going so that you can win your race. All right, doing pretty good. I want to jinx myself here. This is not that one. There's a tricky turn right here because I put a rock right in your way. See that rock? Kind of gonna make sure you don't hit it. And then you got like a hairpin turn up here. Oh no. Wasn't the most graceful thing, but at least I didn't spin out. That was pretty good. So I like Forza Horizon because it makes you feel like a racer. Oh shoot! You can make one mistake and it'll cost you your entire race. Now, the kids really like this game too because they just love just driving around anywhere that they want. It makes them feel like they're driving a real car. And so you can adjust the controller so it's easier for kids as well. There's different settings like turn assist and traction and whatnot. And I kind of like a more realistic feel, especially with the wheel. So I set my settings a little bit into the more difficult settings, not the extreme, because it's just really hard, and I can't really fine tune this wheel to accommodate all of the different settings for the wheels in this game. So this game, let's pull up the map. This game, every little thing you see here is something that you can do in this game. They got showcases where you're like racing. It's just like different. It's like you're racing a train or you're racing an airplane or something. And then they have different styles of games of races. So if you hover over like this is an off-road one. And then this one would be more of a street race or like a normal type of race. So there's a lot you can do here. Okay, so here we are at a showcase. I'm just going to go ahead and start it up here. Kind of show you just one of the more unique races in the game. And it's not really a race. It's more of a experience. You'll see. All right, so here we go. Let's start the race.
This is Scotty Tyler broadcasting to you live from a plane. This time we are going everything we have got this superstar. What's good? Pilot.
So much fun. They just add so much different variety into this game. You do have traditional races as well. Get to see me at my best and my worst. If you miss those flags, then you have to. It'll start you back over.
Fans at the stadium going wild. Yes. What's it gonna take to beat this superstar? Let's see. What else you got? Hey, the cargo doors are opening. You want me to shut this? Oh, that was the plan?
Then they drop off some motorcycles, and now you're racing motorcycles. It's just so random, but it's a lot of fun. Oh no! I thought I had that, but just pulled it a little too early. So that's what's most important. If you're playing a game and you're having a blast, you're having fun, that's a win in my book. Regardless of what the reviews of a game is, try it for yourself. If you like it, awesome.
Did we lose a biker?
Yes, you did. That was pretty fun. Not the most graceful drift, but hey, did the job.
What the hell?
See him flying around in a wingsuit. It's so random, but it's so much fun.
This kid is not stopping.
There you go. So this is Forza Horizon 5. Super fun open world racing game. In my opinion, it's the king of the open world racing games. I like it better than any of the, even the, people are gonna not like this, but even the Need for Speed games. So if you haven't tried Forza Horizon 5, get it. And kind of a pro tip with this game, if you own an Xbox Series S or X, and you buy it on the Xbox store, you can also play it on your computer. I think they call it crossplay. So, you know, as you're buying video games, especially if you own an Xbox, look for that crossplay. Your saves will transfer between your computer and your Xbox. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Hopefully you guys had a really good time checking out my racing arcade machine that I basically just transformed into a racing simulator for my home. If you guys have any questions about the world of racing simulation, leave some comments below and I'll help you out. I'm going to leave a ton of links in the description to everything that I talked about today. Also, I'm going to put some search points if you want to go out there and research it yourself. And I appreciate you guys watching this video to the end, even though I rambled on a lot. And hopefully I gave you some good ideas on how to bring the world of racing simulation into your own home. So, until next time, remember, stay rad and stay retro.
Oh yeah! Yo, here's the drone! Ow! Ow!
I told you we could do better.
I think you went farther than me. Yeah, I don't remember or passing that tree. Oh,